What started as this global emergency has quietly kicked off a real revolution in education. That sudden, kind of chaotic shift to online learning, it turned out to be more than just a temporary patch. It was a massive global experiment. So, how did we go from those messy home offices and glitchy video calls to a whole new chapter in education? Let's dive in.
Oh, yeah, you remember it. I remember it. We all remember it, right? That mad dash for webcams trying to turn the kitchen table into a functioning classroom. It was a crash course for the entire planet, and the lessons we learned, usually the hard way, are now the foundation for a much more resilient and flexible future for learning. All right, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the total chaos of that initial online scramble. Then we'll get into how educators really found their groove by focusing on actual teaching, not just the tech. We'll look at the playbook for school leaders, check out an amazing success story from Malaysia that proves this stuff works, and then we'll wrap it all up by figuring out what a truly resilient education system looks like now.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock back to that moment when pretty much every school on Earth went digital overnight. The tools were there, sure, but was there a plan, a strategy? Not so much.
And this right here, this is the core of the whole issue. It's so important. Schools had all this incredible technology at their fingertips, but the real challenge wasn't about the software, it was about the teaching. I mean, how do you connect with a student through a screen? How do you build a classroom community when you're not in the same room? That's not a tech problem, that's a human problem.
These names, they basically became household words, didn't they? An LMS, or a learning management system, think of that as the digital school building. You've got your different classrooms for every subject. And then you have your Zooms and your Teams. Those were the virtual auditoriums. But at the end of the day, they were just empty rooms, waiting for a great teacher with a great plan to bring them to life.
So, what does great online teaching even look like? Well, it's not about having the fanciest, most expensive tools. It's about using them smartly, strategically, and with a real human touch. It was time to completely rethink what a classroom could be. Okay, now this is such a key concept. The best way to think about it is like a concert. Synchronous learning, that's the live show. Everyone's there together, the energy's electric, you're interacting in real time. Asynchronous learning, that's like getting the high-quality studio recording. You can listen whenever you want, pause it, rewind. A truly great virtual course needs both. You need that live energy, and you need that self-paced flexibility. So how do you actually build one of these great virtual classes? It's all about being intentional. It means the course structure on the LMS is so clear and simple that a student never feels lost. It means you're building in real interaction. We're talking polls, online forums, group quizzes, and it means every single resource is easy to find, and every lesson has a super clear goal. No guesswork. But here's the thing. Even the best teachers on the planet can't do all of that by themselves. They need support, they need resources, and they need a clear vision coming from the top. And that's where leadership becomes absolutely critical. It really boils down to these three key moves. First, you've got to give teachers the right kind of training, the kind that actually helps them succeed online. Second, you have to update the rulebook, create policies that make sense for this new world. And third, you have to put your money where your mouth is and allocate the resources so that no one, not a single student or teacher, gets left behind. And let's be really clear about what training means here. We're not just talking about showing someone how to click the share screen button. No way. The best training is all about pedagogy, the art of teaching. It's workshops on things like how to get a great debate going in a chat box or managing an online classroom. It's about helping teachers become masters of this new domain, not just users of the software. Policies have to change too. You can't just copy-paste the old rules into this brand new world. You've got to rethink everything. What does it mean to be present in class now? Who gets to see a recorded lesson and for how long? What are the ground rules for having a respectful discussion online? It's about setting clear, new expectations for a whole new way of learning. And finally, resources. Because let's be honest, none of this other stuff matters if a student doesn't have a laptop that works or reliable internet. Providing those tools isn't a perk, it's about basic fairness. It's about equity. Without that foundation, the whole thing just falls apart. Okay, so all this sounds pretty good in theory, but you're probably wondering, does this actually work in the real world? Well, you bet it does. And I want to tell you about the University of Malaya because they are just a fantastic example of how to do this right. This quote here, it perfectly captures how they thought about the whole thing.
They didn't just react to the crisis and try to get through it. Nope, they used it as a jumping-off point, a catalyst, to build something way better, stronger, and more flexible for the future. And that's what's so cool about their story. Just look at this journey. They did the rapid shift just like everybody else. But the magic is in what happened after. They didn't just snap back to the old way of doing things. They made a deliberate choice to embrace a hybrid model, taking the best of both worlds. And this is the key. They backed it up with an e-learning unit that provides constant, ongoing training. The support never stopped.
So what's their secret sauce? Well, their online platform is the central hub for literally everything. They record lectures so students can go back and review tricky concepts whenever they need to. They actively train their professors on fun, engaging tools like Kahoot. For them, being a great virtual teacher isn't just a bonus skill, it's a core competency. It's part of the job. And get this. This is the payoff. In some of their courses, after they put this hybrid model in place, attendance actually went up. That's right. By giving students more flexibility and better online resources, they got more engaged. What an incredible result. So, what's the big takeaway here? From their story and from this whole wild journey we've been on, it's that we now have this amazing chance to build an education system that's more resilient, more fair, and frankly, just more engaging for everybody. And this new future, it has a name. It's called blended learning. And it's not about choosing between online or in-person. It's about creating a powerful new mix that uses the best of both. That's the whole idea. So let's not just slip back into the way things used to be. Let's really use the hard-earned lessons from the past few years to build something better, something more flexible, more accessible, and more engaging for every single student. Because as this says, success in this space is never, ever an accident. It's always by design. And so I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Think about your own school, or your university, or even your company's training programs. And ask yourself this question. Are you just using technology, or are you truly teaching with it? Because the answer to that question, well, that's going to define the future of learning.